I'm going to focus primarily on this program called IF. And basically this is a way to automate a lot of these processes that you've been hearing about over the past couple days. So one of them deals with curation. That we go ahead and post things on Facebook, we post things on Twitter and Instagram and all these different technologies, but it would be nice if we can also collect them and maybe bump them up against analytics to see what's driving traffic. So being able to collect them in a spreadsheet. So this program helps to do a lot of that. And it's all based on what's called a recipe. The site is if.com, IFTTT.com. And if stands for if this, then that. Okay, so if you're doing one thing, then something else will happen. And so this is the idea. The first part of the recipe is called the trigger, if this happens. And I'll give plenty of examples of what that could be. If you are in Google or Gmail, for example, and you happen to star an email, you can have it automatically sent to Evernote. Or if you receive an email with an attachment, you can have that attachment stripped off and put into Dropbox automatically. So this is what this specifically does. The second part is called an action. And within each one, the trigger and the action, there's ingredients. So if you have, you're trying to follow an RSS feed, for example, you want, part of the ingredients is what is the URL or the feed that you're following. And you may be able to filter that a little bit to say I'm looking for specific words. If that word shows up, then activate that action. And then the action you can have do something specific. Not all 82 channels are on here, but there are, you can see a lot of the different programs that we have been talking about, from LinkedIn to Digo to Instagram, which was just talked about, Evernote, which is my personal favorite, Facebook, Twitter, they're being represented here. There's also physical devices on here. So for example, Philips Hue, which is a light bulb that has different colors. So you can attach it to the weather channel, so if it's going to snow, you can have the light turn blue. Or if it's going to rain, you can have it turn green. You can have a Belkin switch, so there's Belkin doorbells that you can attach maybe to a Blink USB light. So if you happen to be hearing impaired, if someone rings the doorbell on the computer, the light would flash. So these are things that you can do with this program called IF. In order to get started with it, you have to sign up for IF. So you create an account like you would do normally accounts, but then you have to activate the channels that you wish to use. So if you wish to use Dropbox, you would go in and enter the information for your Dropbox account. Identify a folder that you wish to use, but you would do that in the actual recipe. Or in Evernote, you would tie that to your Evernote account. And there's many instances where we're already doing this. Facebook, I want to be able to share something with Facebook, and you allow it, you give it permission. So we're doing this in many instances already. So in creating a recipe, you decide upon the trigger and the action, and then you tweak the ingredients. So the first thing that you would do is identify the trigger. What's going to make this go so the next action will happen? So for example, if you have a weather alert, maybe it's going to rain in your area, so the trigger is the weather is going to rain. You can have it send an SMS message, a text message to your phone to say, don't forget your umbrella. Okay? Or you can have it send out to Twitter, or maybe you're trying to track that information in an area, and when that information flags, you can have it log in a Google Doc in a spreadsheet. Okay? Or if you get an email, it may that you want to make sure that you're keeping all your emails, archiving your emails. You can have it automatically send it to Evernote, or you can have it just put it on your calendar that certain emails that meet certain criteria that you are logging them maybe in a Google Calendar, or maybe collecting them in a spreadsheet in Google Docs. Possibilities. You get a tweet, you can have it retweeted automatically, you can collect that or collect it into Evernote. If it meets certain criteria, maybe it's a tweet you favored, right? You can collect that information, collect it into a spreadsheet. A blog post. You're following an RSS feed. There's, there's certain people, Jane Hart maybe you're following, and every time you get a blog post out of that, you want to make sure that you keep that, right? And you go ahead and put that information out there, or collect it in Evernote, or Dropbox, or you get a message and you want to make sure you read it right away, and it sends you a text message so it finds you on your phone. Facebook, archiving all that information in Facebook. If someone posts a picture of you, collect those pictures in Dropbox or send them to Evernote automatically. You have options to do that. Same with WordPress. You can have it redistributed. So you're following a WordPress. So one of the things at institutions is you have a number of blogs that are happening, right? So maybe you're following those blogs and you want to make sure that when that post comes in that we're automatically posting it on our university Facebook page, right? You know it's good quality. You're just going to automatically do it because you've been automatically pretty much doing it manually. This is just saving you energy. A Google Calendar event. Tying that, so when something happens, you can automatically send a tweet out based on that information. You can, schedule tweets. You can collect those calendar events automatically into Evernote to archive that information. Send something to Twitter. Post a link in Facebook. Have it automatically start tracking in Bitly. Scheduling events. So time-based events. You can set it for a minute, an hour, a week, a day, a month, a year. You can have things automatically happen in those periodic. So, birthdays most programs can handle birthdays, but there may be something that you want to send out every year at the same time, like to Twitter. Recognizing a 100-year anniversary or 100 years or the anniversary of extension coming into being. If you happen to be a sports nut, okay? You can be tracking sports. Your favorite team is going out. You can be collecting this information and this data. Saving attachments, I talked about that before. You can send those attachments to a variety of different places. It's entirely up to you. New Twitter followers, if you wanted, you could automate that process to recognize them. If you are teaching a class, a workshop, right? You have a workshop. Maybe you've already told them to start following a certain hashtag. You can set out automatic reminders to those classes. Other ways are if maybe you're collecting information, you're already curating information, saving it to Digo or Delicious, that you can have those new resources being tweeted out, okay, or sent by email to someone. And finally, maybe that you setting based on time when it's sunset, the lights in your house come on automatically. Okay, so you can have that do that. So there's other ones that are based on location. So you can set up a perimeter on your location. So if you drive into your street, your lights come on. Or if you happen to have children, if they leave the location, you get a text message saying they have just left the sandbox, okay? And there's a device for your car, it's called Automate, that you can plug into your car. So if your trouble light comes on, it'll send an email to, if you want it to, send an email to your mechanic saying, hey, trouble light came on, like to schedule an appointment. Or, you know, it'll log it into, you can log the mileage automatically if you happen to be coming home or, you know, doing business. So that can happen automatically, that you're tracking the mileage. Lots of possibilities with this program. So let's see if we can do one here real quick. So this is, sorry? Okay. Something isn't working right now. What did I do? That's me. Nope. Okay, we're not going to get to it right now. Those things happen. How, and is that what it is? I'm not connected? Oh. I am so happy. So those are possibilities. There's a lot of other programs that deal in this automation. So WordPress has the capability where you can send tweets out automatically to your account. You can send it to LinkedIn if you can make that connection to LinkedIn. There's programs that do that. It's a matter of also digging down into your programs and seeing how they share nicely. The nice thing about this program, IFT, is the fact that they keep adding new channels to it, new capabilities, which then work with all these other channels. And it's only up to our imagination to figure out how to make those cool connections happen to do that. Does anybody have any ideas, you know, based on that very, let me see if I can bring that up again. And let's you know, get our imaginations working. So here I have these channels. And if you know something about these channels, what kind of pairings do you see there that would apply maybe to our extension work that's kind of coming to mind right away? So what are the advantages of using a tool like this over what's native in like Facebook and Twitter, right? Or any of those things, okay? One, this is one-stop shopping. So if we were able to get to there, you would see a list of my recipes. You know, and I don't have that many recipes right now, but there's a list of recipes, and that's the place that I go and manage them. As opposed to thinking about, well, I've got a recipe here, and I've got this connection here, and if you miss something, you know, where did I make all these connections? So that's kind of the obvious thing. The other thing is the fact that you have so many possibilities that you can make work together, I think is a huge advantage. You know, it's just trying to figure out how we can do this. Okay. Very good. In IFT, and we're still down. Oh, repeating the question, where can we go find recipes that work? So I have a Paperly newsletter out there. It basically collects all the tweets and stuff that talk about IFT that you can certainly subscribe to, and I'll make it an attachment on Lanyard later, that people are adding new recipes all the time and giving ideas for how to leverage this tool. But the other thing is on the site IFT itself, there is a list of recipes, as was noted. Can I log in? Nope. Okay, so isn't working quite right. Yeah, so there's a list of recipes. If you go in and put Evernote in, for example, it will give you thousands of different recipes. You just have to kind of filter down Evernote and Twitter, or Evernote and And it'll narrow down these recipes. And you can go and use somebody's recipe and just customize it for yourself, you know, putting in the right ingredients for yourself. And then you can make that work. So, good question. I'm so sad that this is not working. What are the pitfalls? Changing technology. So if someone changes their API, right, you may have to do some maintenance to go back in and do this. And, you know, we've had occasion once or twice, which has been a rarity, that when something gets posted, suddenly it got posted 4 times. So, but you could have that in another technology also. I could not tell you. This is free. Absolutely. The business model right now, IFT is for free. You know, so that's their business model. And like every other social media that we have out there, it may not be there tomorrow. And that's unfortunately the reality of our world. So, yes, sir. What's my assessment? I think personally we have a long way to go. Talking about communications, you know, from the time that Gutenberg came out with their press, we have been increasing the speed and scope on our ability to communicate. In extension, we have used printed documents, and we've done that for a long time. We've invested in radio programming. We've dabbled in television programming. We're doing videos. We're doing face-to-face. Each has time, distance, and scope of the people that we're doing. Social media, those tools, is just another way of communicating. We're not necessarily caught up yet on how to leverage that, and that's where I feel we're doing. We have people looking at the problem, but we also have folks in extension that have just started today, and we have some folks that have been working in extension for 40 years who are comfortable at that moment in time in what they do. We need to get them to stretch a little bit. Yes, ma'am. I think it helps the workload, because if you want to go out and you make a blog post, I want to try to get that to travel as far as possible. So I may post it to this Twitter account and that Twitter account, and also get it on my Facebook page, and also, you know, so if I have to do that manually for every blog post I do, I'm exerting this much time. And if I can automate some of those processes that I do routinely, and that's the purpose of automation, is to what do you do routinely, and if a computer can do it better, more accurately every time, then let's try to leverage a computer so I can be freed up to do more creative things. That's part of the, in the ingredients you can make, you know, some tweaks. Sure. And that's certainly a call. I mean, another one of the downsides is the fact that, you know, automation kind of takes a hit, you know, in your clout, you know. So, but you have to weigh that out with what are we really, you know, what are we trying to do? I don't know if, you know, a rancher in Sheridan is really concerned about my clout when they're getting the information they need. So.